Coming up on News Center 16 at 5.
A commercial airliner has crashed in eastern Ukraine. Now we await to hear from investigators exactly what happened.
Plus, more than 2 weeks after storms ripped through portions of South Bend, affected residents still have their cleanup work cut out for them.
There's so much cleanup out here, and these trees are huge and they're heavy.
The Family Justice Center of St. Joe County is celebrating 10 years of protecting families, but this morning they had a very important lesson.
Men who strangle women are the most dangerous men on the planet.
And after a very cool start today, very nice afternoon. How long will this weather continue, and do we have that warm-up coming? My 7-day just ahead.
From WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority, this is News Center 16 at 5.
In war-torn Ukraine today, a jumbo jetliner with nearly 300 people on board crashed. No known survivors. Good evening, I'm Maureen McFadden.
And I'm Terry McFadden. In the last 40 minutes, Ukraine's security services have produced what they say are 2 intercepted telephone conversations that showed rebels were responsible for downing the Malaysian airliner.
Steve Handelsman has the story from Washington.
Here's the moment of impact. The basic facts were quickly known. A jumbo jet down and destroyed in Ukraine. Malaysian Air Flight 17, a Boeing 777, with 295 people reported on board, some possibly American, and President Obama said the U.S. would help.
The United States will offer any assistance we can to help determine what happened and why.
Flight 17 left Amsterdam en route to Kuala Lumpur and was on course at 33,000 feet when it went off radar over Ukraine, just short of the Russian border. That part of Ukraine is torn by war, pro-Russian militias versus Ukrainian forces. Blaming Moscow, President Obama last night announced tougher sanctions and was discussing them today with Russian President Putin when Putin informed Mr. Obama of the crash. Debris is reported widely scattered, indicating Flight 17 was likely blown up while airborne. A Ukrainian government official charged the plane was shot down by a Buk missile, a system used by Russia and Ukraine. Both militaries deny responsibility, but the Associated Press reports a launcher like this spotted today with separatists in eastern Ukraine.
So this was a mistake and therefore more likely to have been a Ukrainian separatist shoot down with modern equipment that they didn't understand.
I think there's going to be hell to pay, and there should be.
First comes the investigation. I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News, Washington.
And the White House says U.S. crash experts can help with reconstruction and black box analysis.
News Center 16 is following this tragic incident closely. We'll bring you more updates on the Ukraine plane crash at 5:30. Tonight, Brian Williams anchors an expanded hour-long broadcast of NBC Nightly News. We're following more breaking news, this time out of the Middle East. The Israeli military has launched a ground operation into the Gaza Strip in what they say is a defensive response to continued attacks from Hamas. The military says it's moving to defend the state of Israel following 10 days of attacks and, quote, repeated rejections of offers to de-escalate the situation. Earlier today, a 5-hour humanitarian ceasefire ended with more violence as Hamas fired more than 100 rockets into Israel, and Israel shelled targets in Gaza, killing 3 children. We'll continue to follow today's major developments, and there will be much more tonight on NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
To most of us, the strong storms that passed through Michiana more than 2 weeks ago are a distant memory. To others, they're a continuing nightmare. Mark Peterson is live at Keller Park in South Bend, where life just hasn't been the same since those storms.
No, it hasn't. This is the public park that serves the Keller Park neighborhood. You can see the intense damage done to a lot of the trees here. Yet 2.5 weeks later, the city hasn't done a darn thing about it and is certainly offering no apologies. There's pretty good reason why. It's the chaos that still exists in a lot of the neighborhoods out here. That is where city crews have been spending all their time. Take a look at the size of the tree that crews removed today from the right-of-way off Brookfield Street, loaded it onto a flatbed. It was a pretty big job, even with the proper machinery. And keep in mind, a lot of residents have been trying to do similar work and trying to do it by hand.
I had to call off of work. I got a 2-week call off to try to get this cleaned up for the homeowners. And it's just rough right now. I'm killing myself out here. I put in like 13 hours a day since Monday. trying to clear it up, get it ready, and get it all done.
How much more work you think you have?
I'd say probably a couple more weeks. It was messed up. I couldn't believe it. It was like a movie.
Shouldn't someone else clean this up?
Well, you would think the insurance companies would help out, but they don't. That's our problem, the homeowners.
Why not?
I don't know. I guess they don't cover what doesn't hit the house. That's what they say. So everything is on us.
14-hour days and removing trees from houses and picking out pieces of houses and doing whatever. I mean, this is probably the worst I've seen it my whole life, but I'm not really that old.
Now, because of the situation, the city is allowing residents to dump for free their tree waste at the Organic Resources Facility. That offer continues to August 15th, perhaps an acknowledgement right there that this ain't going to be an overnight deal. This is going to take a while, this cleanup.
Yeah. So what about the park?
It's actually, the latest estimate is that the crews should be able to start work in the park on Monday. We'll see how it goes.
Right. Mark Peterson reporting live. Thank you.
A man whose Elkhart business was raided by the FBI must stay in jail for now. 59-year-old James Ladoni faces 17 charges, including mail fraud. During yesterday's hearing, attorneys argued for 4 hours over whether Ladoni could be trusted to stay if he was released from jail while waiting for his January trial. Our reporting partners at the Elkhart Truth say the judge finally postponed that decision until next Friday. Ladoni is accused of a scheme to trick customers who placed orders with his business, Paragon Technologies. Court documents say Ladoni required deposits of up to 50% on orders, then never delivered the products. He'd allegedly filed for bankruptcy to avoid refunding customers.
Well, sunshine with temperatures a bit warmer today. Mike, how's tonight looking for outdoor activities?
Well, it's looking beautiful this evening, and it's going to cool down again overnight, but not as chilly as it was this morning. We hit 50 officially, but everybody outside of South Bend was in the 40s this morning. 46 Benton Harbor, 47 in Goshen, in case you're wondering. But nice clear conditions out there. There are a few clouds, but those are not going to produce anything as far as rain goes. So my hour-by-hour forecast shows partly to mostly sunny skies through the rest of the early evening. Temperatures starting to fall to about 69 degrees by 6 o'clock. We'll let you know what the lows expected to be tonight, but also show you the latest on the warm-up coming up.
Mike, thank you. Last summer, the Elkhart County Fair broke its own attendance record. And this year, fair organizers have their eyes set on an even bigger record to break. News Center 16's Tricia Hart joins us live from the newsroom. And Trish, what's the goal this year?
Well, Terry, the folks at the Elkhart County 4-H Fair are thinking global. Their goal to set a world record by collecting more than 560,000 pounds of food in 24 hours. And they need your help to accomplish that mission. The Elkhart County 4-H Fair is the place to go for rides and one-of-a-kind snacks.
It's a great big social event, and then everybody, of course, likes to eat all the good food that we have to offer.
But this Sunday, on your way in, make sure to drop off something for the food drive.
The wait is always good in this particular food drive because this record is going to be difficult for us to break.
The weight Rod Robertson of Church Community Services is talking about is a world record for a 24-hour food drive.
The record is not total cans, it's total weight.
The current record is 559,885 pounds, set in 2011 by the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics.
The goal is to beat the record.
Starting 1 p.m. Sunday, cans and food items will be collected at the gates, weighed, and then tallied.
These types of food drives are just critical to the entire system.
The Food Bank of Elkhart County is on the receiving end, storing the items throughout the area, including here at the Church Community Services in Elkhart.
This warehouse will definitely be packed.
The world record weight is roughly the size of 12.5 semis. Last year, the food bank distributed 1.7 million pounds, meaning the world record would only fulfill 1/3 of their total output.
People seem to think that people are already taken care of. And we're seeing a large increase in families that are working and still can't seem to make everything meet.
Now, if you're clearing out your shelves, the food does not count it if it's expired, so remember that as you go through your pantry And an added nicety to this story, the current record holder down in North Carolina actually emailed the fair with well wishes that they go on and break this record on Sunday. They even had some tips and advice going forward.
Now, Trish, it's one of those records where it's good if someone else breaks it. How long will it take to find out if they'll make the Guinness Book of World Records?
Well, Terry, it could take 12 weeks for the official okay. They'll know their own tally for the weight as soon as the 24 hours are up, but they will have to wait for the title if they do collect over that 586,000 pounds. So it will take a while, but they should know ahead of time.
All right, Tricia Hart reporting live tonight from the newsroom. Thanks, Trish.
St. Joseph County Police respond to about 8,000 domestic violence calls a year, and based on how many incidents go unreported, that number is believed to be a lot higher. But today, the group fighting to end domestic violence and sexual abuse was celebrating as they mark their 10-year anniversary. Community leaders and social service providers gathered at IUSB to not only celebrate 10 years, but talk about how they can improve the next decade. Some of the goals include adding more agencies, increasing services, and doing more for survivors of this abuse, not just during the crisis, but after it's over too. And tomorrow, they'll continue to work together to discuss how they can do better, especially when it comes to strangulation cases and others.
And there are cases where many times there's no visible injury. Victim says he choked me, you see nothing on her neck, and when he's choked her one time, he's 800% more likely to later kill her. When a man chokes a woman once, he's just raised his hand and said, I'm a killer. And we have to be a lot better about dealing with those cases before the homicide instead of waiting until after the homicide.
If you or anyone you know is in an abusive relationship or has been sexually assaulted, you can help them by calling 574-234-6900.
Getting those required medical checkups are both necessary, but they can get pricey. So today, folks get a chance to score $100 worth of tests and screenings for free. The Walgreens Way to Well Health Tour bus is in South Bend and will be in the area until Saturday. Today, they're at the Walgreens at the corner of State Road 933 and Darden. Health tests will go on for another hour this evening if you want to take part. They'll check total cholesterol, glucose, blood pressure, body mass index, body composition, skeletal muscle, resting metabolism, visceral fat, real body age and weight. And it only takes 15 minutes.
Early detection is key to prevention. So these will give you key insights into your health. The leading causes of diseases are heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. So if your numbers are high, you'll know early.
They do change locations around the area, so head to our website, WNDU.com, and click on the big red bar for that information.
Well, I, along with many of you, were getting ready for our kids' high school and college graduations this past spring. A Granger couple was continuing a promise to their daughter, who should have been doing the same thing. Sadly, 4 years ago today, 18-year-old Amanda Abiel, who had been healthy her entire life and in the hospital with a terrible strep throat, died. Her parents, Cindy and Brian, were mystified and spent months looking for answers as to what killed their daughter. They believe she died from respiratory depression because she was on pain medications that slow breathing. They were shocked to learn her breathing was not being monitored. And 4 years later, they still can't believe their only daughter is gone.
The nurse kind of fumbled on the phone and basically said your daughter is in code blue right now. The nevers are hard. We'll never know what her major would have been, and so those are hard things to think about and go through.
The Abiels refused to let Amanda's death go without purpose, so they've started a foundation called Promise to Amanda, and their goal is to get CO2 monitors for all patients given these drugs, and not just locally, but nationwide. They're holding a fundraiser this weekend to help further that cause and hopefully get to Washington and convince lawmakers to make respiratory monitoring mandatory so that other parents don't have to go through what they have. And tonight at 6, I'll continue my conversation with the Abiels and tell you more about this fundraiser, which will be fun, just like Amanda.
You're watching WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority. News Center 16 at 5. Preparing you for inconvenient weather with a color-coded forecast. Storm Team 16 is your weather authority.
Ooh, it was chilly this morning. Almost everybody in Michiana in the 40s. Officially in South Bend we hit 50, but every other number I saw was in the mid to upper 40s. Pretty incredible, but not quite record-breaking for this time of the year. Nice afternoon, though. 74 degrees. You can see what it looks like outside right now, our WNDU stations. Lots of sunshine, lots of blue sky. We do have a few clouds out there, but they are not going to produce anything. And look at the relative humidity. 38%. Winds are westerly at just 8 miles per hour right now. Temperatures across the region, you can see all of us are enjoying 70s, even along the lakeshore. A little bit cool to be going to the beach, but not bad. By the way, this weekend is going to be great beach weather if you're going to be heading out that way, or 4-H fair weather, whatever you want to do. It is going to be looking nice as the humidity levels do start to come back a little bit. You can see Rochester right now 75, 76 in North Judson. So right now the humidity level is extremely low, and it's going to take a while for those to come back up. With those low humidity numbers, you're looking at nothing on 16 Doppler Max. It's going to stay nice and dry this evening. You might want to cook a brat on the grill in the backyard. It would be beautiful for that. And you can see on the satellite radar combination, there just isn't anything around, just a few fair weather cumulus clouds here and there. Storm system off to the southwest of us will stay there, but it's getting a little closer than it looked like yesterday. But we'll show that to you coming up right now on Future Track. And here's what it looks like then. High pressure sitting right near Fort Wayne right now. That's provided us with a beautiful day today. It'll continue to move eastward. So as it does, we have clockwise flow around an area of high pressure. That means we'll slowly warm up with a southerly flow of air. It's going to take a while, though. It's not going to suddenly warm up, so it is going to take its time. But you can see as we head towards Saturday morning, some showers into central and eastern Ohio from that storm system to the south. So if you're heading out that way, you're probably going to get wet into western Pennsylvania as well. Future Track even showing them coming back toward the state line. So we're going to have to watch this a little bit, but more than likely it will stay to the south of us. This storm system moves up the Appalachians and stays to our east. The next cold front really doesn't make much progress, so we just kind of steady as she goes as far as our weather is concerned. Here's my Storm Team 16 forecast for all of Michiana. For tonight, a beautiful evening, otherwise clear, calm, and cool. Low temperature down to 54 degrees. 7-day planning forecast, a cool start, then tons of sunshine, a bit milder in the afternoon. Nice green day, high up to 80, but still low humidity. Saturday, humidity levels come up just a little bit warmer in the afternoon as well, but keep the sunglasses handy. Once again, lots of sunshine, high up to 82. A little bit more humid on Sunday. It'll be mild early, otherwise we'll see a lot of sunshine and another beach day expected. 2 beautiful days for the beach this weekend. 84 degrees on Sunday, and then into early next week you can see 86 and 88 now for Monday and Tuesday as it turns hot and humid for a 2 or 3 day period. Chance of showers and thunderstorms again on Wednesday and Thursday as we do see another cool front coming our way, but it is not nearly as strong a cool front as we just went through. So looks like pleasant temperatures as we head toward that next weekend. So 2 or 3 day, you hate to call it a heat wave, because it's really not. But it's what
warmer.
For this summer it will be, but that's about it.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Well, recent stories of parents leaving children inside hot vehicles have sparked a conversation, one that asks, how do we prevent such tragedies?
But it can happen to anyone, even the best of parents. On a hot day, a closed car can reach temperatures over 100 degrees in just 15 minutes. And at 107 degrees, children can die. So far this year, at least 17 children have died in hot vehicles, according to kidsandcars.org. Texas, Florida, California, and Arizona lead the nation in the number of children who die in cars from heat stroke. Now the danger has triggered a new Good Samaritan law in Tennessee, allowing anyone to break into a locked hot car when they see a child alone and in trouble.
We all need to be involved in making sure our children stay safe. 90% of the time, it's the best parents you could ever imagine.
And it's not just children being left in cars. Animal Control says they've seen an increase in people leaving their dogs in hot cars this year, too. In 2013 alone, they saw 235 calls. So far this year, that number's up another 50 calls. Just like humans, when a dog's body temperature reaches 106 degrees or higher, it becomes life-threatening. Animal Control says people don't intend to harm their pets, but when they run into the store, they think they're stopping for 5 minutes. But sometimes 5 minutes turns into 15 or 20. Well, coming up, doctors are turning to weight loss surgery to combat the all too serious disease called diabetes.
Find out if bariatric surgery is the answer next in today's Medical Moment.
The latest health news for you and your family. This is Maureen's Medical Moment.
See why a popular surgery to lose weight is curing people with diabetes. The story in today's Medical Moment. Nearly 90% of people with type 2 diabetes are obese, and as more Americans gain weight, they're more likely to face a diabetes diagnosis. In fact, the American Diabetes Association predicts that 1 in 3 adults will have diabetes by the year 2050. For years, we've heard about weight loss surgery and its effect on diabetes. Now, a new study is showing just how well the popular surgery is working to stop this serious disease. For most of his life, Tim Faree was overweight, tired, and just plain frustrated with his health, especially his type 2 diabetes.
I would take my blood sugar once or twice a day and take the pills and try to manage my diet.
But nothing worked until Tim tried gastric bypass surgery.
By losing the weight, the patient's insulin resistance decreases, and this results in a very rapid improvement in their blood sugar.
Cleveland Clinic surgeon Philip Schauer says gastric bypass also has an effect on a patient's hormones, which stimulates the pancreas to produce insulin.
I have many patients who come to surgery who are on 100 units of insulin per day, and before they leave the hospital, they're off all their insulin for the rest of their life.
A recent study found just 5 to 10% of patients who had bariatric surgery required insulin, compared to 55% who received standard care. The surgery group also needed less blood pressure and cholesterol meds. Tim said goodbye to insulin and his other meds.
The day of the surgery, I weighed 263 pounds. Today, I weigh about 195. For me, the surgery has been miraculous. It really has been.
It's a weight loss surgery that does much more. A recent study that appeared in the journal Diabetes Care found for the first time that bariatric surgery can also improve type 1 diabetes, with some patients reducing their insulin intake by more than 60%. And to read the research summary for today's story, you can go to WNDU.com and click on the Medical Moment. Terry?
Thanks, Mo. A lush garden full of blooming flowers and lots of green leaves is just a dream for many, but it could be your front yard if you enter our 16 Curb Appeal contest. Someone in our area is going to win $5,000 worth of landscaping from Linton's Enchanted Gardens. Here's how you enter to win that $5,000 worth of landscaping. In 100 words or less, tell us why your front yard needs a makeover. We'll need you to submit at least 3 pictures, including a wide shot of the entire front yard and medium and tight shots of other areas. You can enter online by going to our website, WNDU.com, and clicking on the 16 Curb Appeal banner below the big red bar on the front page. You can also enter by mail. The deadline to enter is July 27th. Coming up, an inspiring story of perseverance and dedication. Meet a man who was born without arms, but he hasn't let that get in the way of his dreams. The story next. Well, a couple miles outside Fairfield, Iowa, you'll find precision and a man who found his sweet spot along a gravel road. Matt Stutzman has been shocking people since the day he was born without arms. But even those who knew him, well, couldn't believe the sport he picked up, archery. And he's pretty good. Stutzman earned himself a silver medal at London's 2012 Paralympic Games. And now he's off to Salt Lake City to train for the Rio Games in September 2016. And News Center 16 at 5:30 is next with Mo. Here's a preview.